Alright guys, so we need to have a chat regarding the Simpsons donuts, but before we do so, let's quickly check what's going on with the current market cap, liquidity, holders, and the 24-hour volume trade. So start off with the total market cap. It's actually $448,000, which means it's dropped from the last several days due to the price action. Secondly, the liquidity is around about 440 to 459k. Total holders is above 2k, and the 24-hour volume of 12,180. Volatility is quite high because we have been going down for the past few days, but for today it's not much volatility at all because we more or less gone sideways. Let's expand the charts. Alright guys, so in one of my previous videos I did actually stated that I'm going to go into a trade right over here with a view of us quite possibly rebounding here and breaking up and continuing to the upside. This could have been very bullish. Now, in fact, let me apologize there. It's actually from the green line, and the area would have been around about over here. But instead, as we've gone up, we kind of faked out. Then we came dropping. We've gone sideways there, accumulated more here. But I did say that that would be the last saving grace for the token. If we fall below this line over here, then chances are we'll capitulate even further down. How much further down? Well, who knows really, guys. It depends on all the holders. If they're looking to be feared out of their position because they see the price is dropping. Because that has happened, that's why we can see such a huge drop from that last support line over here, which has brought us down all the way down to around about 76% move to the downside. Guys, as you can tell by my voice, I'm not overly scared about this. I'm not fearful because as Bitcoin has been dropping just a little bit, obviously it has tanked the whole entire meme space, dramatically. 3, 4, 5% of Bitcoin drop could translate in most of the meme coins by 10, maybe even 20% move to the downside. As we can see with donuts, a lot of people have dumped it, in fact, and due to the dump, we continue going down even more. But right now, we do see that we've been bottom round over here. That is still quite bullish, in fact. This could be the level over here where we can continue to add more to our bags, because every time we go sideways, chances are that we are going to come back to retest of around about this level here. But before we do so, we've got some hurdles to climb. The first hurdle is we need to first get above this level here. Now this will be our first resistance. This could be our first resistance area right over here. And from here, our current price to roughly around about there, that's like 58% move to the upside. Oh, hang on a second, guys. I think I might have made a little error there in terms of the big drop from where we were previously. No, not at all. That's interesting. Right, either way, guys, what I'm trying to say is we just need to break above this level up here first. And then once we do, then we got the next hurdle, which would be the next level up here. And then once we climb above this level here, then we could be off to the races and go back up to the last levels of around about up here. Now this in itself, it's not a bad accumulation phase. It just means you can start, adding more to your bags over here and then picking up an additional 298% move to the upside, almost 300%, about 300% move to the upside. This is pretty decent, guys, because remember, if you guys are hodling this coin, the aim of your goal is essentially to just start accumulating a lot more, especially the deeper pullbacks that we get. So far, this crypto has been verified and audited, which means it is still less of a is a less risky play in the sense of being completely rug pull, but it doesn't mean that the price action won't be as volatile as we're currently experiencing right now. We've seen this in many meme coins in general that saw like a huge seismic move to the downside, but corrected itself. Then it continued to go up and found its way to its new all-time highs. This is no different, guys. So don't be fearful, guys. Just think of it as a future investment. In fact, even if you got like just 20, 30, $40, you could still 3x that from the current price right now. Because that means once you've added more to your bag, just a little bit more, it doesn't have to be much at all, you can claw back in a quite a huge percentage in returns. Therefore, once we get back to where you have as a break even, then from there onwards, you should be able to see a massive return. So let's say, for example, you've entered anywhere between the green and the yellow line as it came dropped. Yeah, I can imagine it's not an easy pill to swallow, but from where we are now to that level, any of these level over here, the first one is roughly around about 300 and something, whereas the second one to that green line is like 424. That's already 4x, guys. And then once eventually we carry on, and once we eventually do carry on and break above the last autumn by measuring to the highest body and not the wick itself, and that would be roughly around about 1,778% move to the upside. So that's basically 17x from the bottom all the way out to the top, guys. Now this is pretty massive move in general. No matter where you've entered originally or accumulated, in the past, whether it's along, from the breakup from here, anywhere from here, and etc. Because once we do make that move from down there all the way to up here, you would gain an additional 1,000, let's say 800% move to the upside, plus whatever you've entered around about here, and that will give you, if you were anywhere around about this level here, an additional 300% move to the upside. So think of it as an extra loaded bag of return. If we do enter more, well, if you do add more now from here to the top, I think that would be a pretty decent way of hodling and also adding a lot more to your bags. Because remember, guys, the aim of the goal is to always accumulate a lot more coins. Because even once we do come back up to this level over here, we should be expecting a pretty big return, and from this point onwards you can decide whether you'd like to take more profits or exit your entire trade. That's entirely up to you, but this video is just to give you some reassurance that now we've seen a pretty big drop to the bottom. However, do not be fearful, add more to your bags, and we will see a skyrocketing move to the upside. This is something similar to what happened to Crow Coin quite a few years ago. I think 2020, where it went up, quite dramatically, and then it dropped so rapidly. I remember entering quite high up onto Crow with a grand and a half, and it came crashing down quite literally. If I held that trade long enough to where it's today, or where it was during the bull season, then yeah, guys, I would have been up by at least more than 5,000%. And I'm seeing the same pattern happening right now. So don't be fearful, guys, because I can see we should be able to see a crazy move to the upside eventually. So until then, guys, I hope this has given you some reassurance. As always, guys, please timestamp my video, even as not financial advice or anything. This is just to show you that we will see such huge move to the upside and downside. We've just seen a huge move to the downside. If we go a little bit further down the ground, that's absolutely fine. I'll be adding more to my bag because it will give me even huge percentage in gains from lower than here right away back to the top up here. So I hope this has been useful and informative. Fear not, guys, eventually we will be skyrocketing with this chart. And remember, this is still a brand new meme, which means there should be a lot more upside swing coming in for the donut, and I think there's going to be a lot more which I haven't checked yet. I need to find out before I say anything, but I do reckon that there should be some gaming utility for donuts, as they may have some play to earn, which could be even awesome fundamental news that could help to skyrocket this project. I'm going to leave it here, guys. So I hope you do find this useful and informative. If you haven't done so already, guys, please give me a like, subscribe, hit the bell notification to be updated with all of my latest content. And if you haven't done so already, you must subscribe to me over here. And if you've checked the last two videos, this one and that one, go check them out. And I'll see you all in the next one.